So we both need to be watching that back door.
Yeah, I'm going to get it open now.
Because if Arwen's not in, me and you need to be doing a little bit more because he does snipe everybody. The one good thing he does.
Hello?
You know we're recording, right?
I don't care. It's nothing I wouldn't say to his face, to be honest, Nathan.
I was just reminding you, that's all.
Well, if you're listening, Arwen, you are a knob at times.
Well, I have unblocked him now. So
why have you done that?
Why? Because, you know,
right. Yeah, but right now we've got an issue on the table, right? And if he comes in, he'll fucking ruin it.
We're better than this. Let's see what he does. He's
got I don't want to give him the chance. I don't trust him at the minute.
Okay. What can I say? It's,
hey, Nami.
Hello.
I think I've got sunstroke. I'm in a very bad mood.
Fucking hell. Don't say that because you'll get Ranty's tar brush.
No, he is in a bad mood. I can tell he's in a bad mood.
I'm fuming, mate. Absolutely fuming. You know, that Jeffrey guy, I know you were like, look, let's not labour this point, but it makes me really annoyed. Basically, they come in, they assert something, and then you go, well, what's your evidence? Oh, none.
Well, no, what it was, I wanted him to make an arse of himself over the magnetic declination too, so that then you could really rip him an arsehole. I wanted you to sort of like have, obviously you'd give him a spanking for 15 minutes, but, you know, okay, let him make an arse of himself even more. You know.
I think he did.
There's a method in the madness.
90%, you know, I was distracted with other things. That's why I wasn't around. My bad. I could hear in the background you saying things, but I didn't know you were trying to get me to screen share. So I sat down and like, well, I can't do anything unless he actually shares me. I was like, oh, shit. My bad. Anyway, I'm going to start the show.
Go, go, go.
Check, check, check.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Sleeping Warrior. Sleeping Warrior?
Sorry. You don't normally do. Sometimes you pause and other times you don't.
Yes. Arwen is calling on Skype. So clearly Arwen thinks that literally while I'm doing the intro to the show, I'm going to take a call on Skype. Thanks, Arwen. Hey, Ranty, how you doing?
Hi, Ron. Nathan. By the way, Arwen is unblocked, so...
Yeah, let me fess up, right? I've kicked Arwen because I don't want him coming in now and ruining the point, which is what he's done for the last 3, 4, 5 times. To be honest, if he is going to come in, and I don't want to cause a wall, but I'm just going to drop Nathan because I don't want him coming in and just going, no, because I don't... Everybody in chat sees what's going on, and he's just disrupting it, and it's not right. If he's going to argue their points... Be a baller and attack and take the criticism that comes with it. But if you're going to argue their point when there's a baller on the rocks, I'm sorry, but that's not acceptable. There's a time and a place, and I don't agree it's when there's a baller on the rocks, and that's all he's going to do. There's no point in bringing Arwen in at this point.
Thanks for adding me, Nathan, on Skype.
My pleasure, Arwen.
Give him one last chance.
No, fuck it. See you later.
Don't go.
I can't be asked. There's no point in being in here while he's in here.
Let's just see what happens. See how he is.
I'm not interested.
Okay.
Fun start.
Okay.
Oh,
Well.
check it out. £20 in the whatever it's called, super chat. Thank you very much, Retro Bill. Much obliged.
Dollars.
So, might as well do the housekeeping, even though Anthony's dropped. Hopefully, he will return. We shall see. Any signs of
Just
Just
curvature,
come back,
lads?
Anthony. Just come back. Don't be such a baby. Sorry.
Housekeeping. Do we have a sleeping warrior anywhere?
Do we have a sleeping warrior? Let's put a real dampener on the beginning of the show, you know. So what's the beef between you and Arwen now? Oh, he's not here. What's the beef between you and Sleeping Warrior, Arwen? Any idea?
Well, he's now suddenly got into his head that I'm a Trojan horse. So, I don't know what his problem is.
You mean a Trojan horse?
Well, that's what he thinks.
I know what a Trojan horse is, but what do you mean by that?
Well, exactly what that means. Somebody is basically being inserted from the outside as a friendly gift. That's then going to be, in the night, open up with all the soldiers taking everybody down when the guard's at sleep. That's what a Trojan horse is.
But that would imply that you're a friendly gift.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, right. I don't see that you're not wrapped up in gift paper, Arwen. What do you mean, friendly gift?
Well, that's the concept of a Trojan horse.
Fair enough. Well, I didn't see any wrapping paper.
No, me neither.
Well, fair enough.
Spears were sticking all out of them, so...
So, who's told you that you're a friendly gift? Inserted into what exactly?
He's Trojan horse, that's what he's calling me.
It means
Okay.
infiltrator, really. It doesn't mean friendly gift. I mean, I think the thrust of what that really means is that it's somebody who's presents one way but has actually got a different agenda secretly.
Right.
You know, the Trojan horse is the symbol that is used for psychological operations by the U.S. military. They use the horse chess piece, right? Which
I didn't know that.
the Trojan horse.
Ah,
You
okay.
see that chess piece of the horse, that's what denotes the Department of Defense Psychological Operations Department. That's their symbol. And I think they've used that in the British military tradition as well, if I am not mistaken. So, I don't think that that's true about Arwen personally. I just think that Arwen is just more in it for himself, right? Rather than in it to win it or whatever, in it to actually learn, teach, and share ideas. He's in it to show everyone that he's smarter than everyone else in the entire universe and has special spiritual cosmic gifts that make him the only person who could possibly have any relevant information about this whole subject of flat Earth.
Really?
He's constantly asserting his intellectual superiority in the Skype, and mocking everybody of how dumb we all are compared to him and his boundless
Really?
intellect.
I am? Where did I do that exactly?
But plenty of time.
Quite a lot.
Must I quote you? I mean, I'm not going to go back and...
Oh yeah, you
Fine.
can quote me like when I'm pissed off. Yeah, I will definitely verbally assault you with my analysis of the persons that are actually doing that. But overall, I don't do that at all.
You're glorifying yourself. You're like, oh yeah, I'm talking to real intellectuals that are interested in me, not like you guys. Why are you here? If we're all so dumb and you're the paragon of intellect of the world, why are you talking to us dumbasses? Why don't you go talk to all the brilliant geniuses who are so desperate for your company that you supposedly claim?
Well, I am.
Oh, okay. So you just
I kind of like the show. I've been doing this for every day for almost a year, and I've grown used to it. This is what I do every day.
Your brilliant rectangular looping model, right? Everybody's so interested.
Yeah.
You know, the
Not
problem
everyone,
is really
but
is that
some
you're just
people
really
are,
rude to
indeed.
people. You're constantly taking shots at people when it's totally uncalled for, and people just sort of ignore it. But I mean, eventually,
kind of like you are doing right now.
No,
in
I'm
your
not.
Open
No,
character
no. I'm talking
assassination
about things that
attempt.
occurred, and other people will attest to the fact that yes, these things occurred. the way that you talk to us, the way that you treat.
I can quote you pretty fine as well. Things that you've said.
Like what?
You haven't
Sure.
been exactly gracious yourself. So.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay, what? Quote me.
Oh, you really want to go there? You're that thick?
Well, I don't claim to be this superior intellect over everyone else. I try to share ideas. Sometimes I disagree.
I don't either.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. It's in there. You've said it several times.
Really? So pull up the quote where I literally say that.
All right.
Well, I think it's a consensus of opinion with not just us guys, but everyone in the chat that also sees it going on. It's like every time we have a winning argument, you disagree at some point. It's like we're just about to get the final nail in the coffin. The ball is just about to fall on this sword, and then you come to the rescue with your...
Oh, really? So when did that happen exactly? Yesterday?
When did it happen? No, it's happened literally perhaps for the last 6 weeks. It's just got a lot worse in the last couple of weeks. And I'm just being honest with you,
yesterday
Owen,
I just had a
actually quite
misunderstanding
like you
at
as
the
a
intent
person,
of
but I don't
what
like
was
how
really
you
going
turned
on.
out recently.
And I conceded to that. It's like, oh wait, this is what you're trying to do. Okay. And then I stepped back, and the baller came back in, and yeah, you continued the discussion uninterrupted.
No,
and then you so graciously decided to snipe me after calling me a glober.
It would be nicer if if you disagree with somebody, sometimes you don't have to say that you disagree with them. You can think it in your head. You don't have to actually say to them.
Yeah, that's right. So the same kind of counts for you when you just start to decide to publicly call me a glober.
Well, the thing is, Owen, and I've tried to speak to you. We've all tried to give you an arm over your shoulder.
Like a straw man, really.
Huh?
Yeah, you called me a glober in public, so you're being kind of a hypocrite.
Well,
okay, I'm looking at the part where you're saying, Taranti, just because you have no hope of learning it yourself doesn't mean that it can't be attained, right? And then you say, I bring intellect to the debate, implying that other people are not bringing intellect to the debate.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Is that what that means?
Yep. It definitely means that in the context of this conversation. You called Ranty dumb.
Oh, well... Yeah, but that's kind of in a personal analysis.
My screen? Shall I share my screen?
Actions.
I get plenty of attention these days, especially from real intellectual people. This is your words, okay?
Yeah,
so, yeah,
and you know, that was actually a response to something else. That's not something I started out saying out of nothing.
Ranty says, I support all real flat earthers who do honest work, boots on the ground. Good for you. I get plenty of attention these days, especially from real intellectual people. No, you act like totally preposterously arrogant as if you're the smartest person in the room when you're obviously not. Your ideas, whatever original ideas you brought to this thing are just silly, have no evidence.
Silly? Oh, really?
Yeah, silly.
So what original ideas have you brought to the table, Nami?
Well, I have brought interesting analysis, and I just continue to research. I'm not claiming to be.
What is your model?
I don't have a model.
Yeah.
I don't have to have a model. I'm not claiming to be the smartest person in the room. I'm just adding what I can to the ongoing project of debating the flat Earth. I don't claim to be.
Yeah, and so do I. I bring in other options. I bring in other possibilities. Directions that things
don't
could
think
go.
That this sounds like an arrogant statement. I get plenty of attention these days, especially from real intellectual people.
Well, I'm sorry you're so strung up about that. Maybe you should just get over that. And let's actually get on a debate here with flat Earth and with globers, and just do your grilling.
No, you're just an arrogant shit trying to undermine everyone else. That's why we don't like you.
It's not true.
I don't like you either, Nigel.
That's not true, Numi. I mean, speak for yourself. But up until you said that, I would say that it's only through concern that we would tell someone like Arwen these things. For example, someone like Sly Sparkane, I genuinely don't give a shit about him. Therefore, his faults and flaws, I'm not going to point them out to him so that he can better himself, because I don't care. Whereas with Arwen, if something's on my chest, I will express it to him because I like him. In other words, when you grill someone, sometimes it's because you do actually like them. I'm not saying you do, Nummy. You might hate the guy. But for
I
me
don't
personally,
hate him. It's just that he's like taken so many personal shots at me. Like when I wasn't saying anything to him or anything about him, he's just like mocking me.
No, you
know,
just constantly
saying I got fired
contradict
from-
me
like,
everywhere.
you're claiming
and
I
you
got
publicly
fired from my
ridicule me
job.
for my fantasies. It's nothing personal at all. You know, it's nothing
That
personal.
was afterwards.
You just
silly.
say
That was
that I'm
after-
ridiculous with my
after that you
fantasies
were
and all
rude to me
that. It's
that I
nothing
said that.
personal.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, moving on. I'm just saying there's a
Yeah, let's move on.
any signs of axial rotation?
Nope.
No.
We were doing housekeeping when this all started, let's be honest.
It didn't take long, did it?
It didn't.
It's probably going to crop up again, I should imagine.
I'm sure it will when we get to gravity and the housekeeping.
And we just need the clean house here. You know,
Well, I don't know.
couples fight.
Well, not really. And now Anthony's left because he literally can't stand being around you, Arwin. That should speak volumes.
Yep.
No?
Well, he's just being a big baby. That's all.
No, you're not getting it, are you, Arwin? You're not listening to what people are telling you.
Yeah, I am. Don't talk to me, please, please.
The point is, Arwin, we're not saying this because we want to have a go at you. We're not. It's not the same as when
I know,
I'm
I
calling...
know, and I made a statement in chat that was ignored. That is, hey, if you're gonna grill Globers, just do whatever you want. I'll be completely silent. And then when somebody asks me a question, I'll ask Nathan, can I respond to this? And when you say yes, I'll respond to it. All
Well,
right?
that's fair enough. That's all I'm asking for. You don't have to ask my permission, Arwin. That's not the extreme I'm
No,
trying
I
to get
apparently
to.
do. I
You
apparently
don't.
do.
It's just when you've got to the point where somebody's literally about to have their head stoved in, like Ruhif, and you jump in. There's like awkward, uncomfortable silences when they're on the ropes, and then it gets to the crescendo. There's an awkward silence for a second, and then you go, well, actually, I agree with the Glober's point. And Ruhif laughs his head off because he knows that in that moment, you have stolen every single bit of thunder that has been directed at that globehead. In that case, Ruhif. So,
Yeah,
you know.
I agree to that. I can be a little bit tactless sometimes because I just have so much on my chest. I have so many things to say, so many things I see, and yeah, I can be a bit attention drawing. I agree to that, and it can be very badly timed.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Lewis.
Hey. Yeah, I think Arwin does have bad time, and I think somebody's put it actually in chat and nailed it on the head. He has really terrible timing.
Yeah, well, I just stated that myself, so don't need
Yeah.
anybody in chat to remind me about that.
Housekeeping, Nathan.
Any signs of a molten iron core that can self-perpetuate?
Yadano, do you have anything to add to that?
About the molten core, you said self-perpetuating.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it's self-perpetuating. It's just kind of still in motion. It hasn't had anything to
I'm back.
completely stall the motion.
Hey, Jose.
According to theory.
But do you have any proof or?
Oh yeah. I mean, a
Oh
difference.
no,
But
I'm repeating the standard theory. I've never done any measurements with the core of myself. It may very well not be there, but this is
So
just
no.
the understanding that it is still moving from the from its inception.
Does anyone have any evidence of this?
Yes. I believe many sciences actually study in different aspects, both the magnetic field and also the layers of the Earth as well as the core, and that's the geology, geography.
So how does the magnetic field work as evidence of a molten core?
Oh, evidence, no matter how small, no matter how large, is evidence. It's not proof. It's not
Hey, George.
the deal breaker. But
Do you know molten iron loses its ferromagnetic properties?
Right,
But
it's the
iron
Curie
loses
point.
paramagnetic properties when molten, I should say.
Yeah, I've actually had a problem with this myself because I was researching it and saw that the Curie point is rather it's beyond the Curie point basically. So it's not supposed to be magnetic in the way we understand it. But I'd have to pull up what I looked up before. But given some properties of the geodynamo is what they call it, and then that with in conjunction with the fact that it's not actually the core, but the outer core and the actual dynamic flow of it, which creates the magnetic field.
But isn't that all just speculation, really?
It's word salad,
yeah,
mate.
of course.
It's word,
Sorry,
it's
maybe
word
I can
salad.
just ask the question again, very slowly. Is
It's
there
scientific
any
proof.
evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core? The key word is evidence, not speculation.
Well, there's certainly evidence of it. Like I said, no matter how
Show us.
sound, or
Show
how,
us. Show us.
So there's unsound evidence, there's speculation standing in for evidence, and that's the evidence, right?
No, if you were doing, let's say you were a detective and you were solving a case.
Sorry, that would be speculation, deduction. I am asking for evidence.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
still
Well, what they do is
mystified.
they take the
Let's
magnetic.
ask a third time. Do you have any evidence for a self-perpetuating molten iron core?
Well, the magnetic field is one.
Sorry, no. You're not listening. Not magnetic field, that wasn't the words I used. The words were clear, spoken slowly. Now I'm going to start to get you to repeat them back to me. Do you have any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core?
Yeah, that's right. So, along with that,
Repeat it back to me first, because so far, 2 attempts, and you've told me that you
Well, no, I
can
haven't
deduce it.
finished my second attempt.
You just need to repeat
James,
it back
hello?
first, so I know that you have understood it.
Yeah. So my
James,
second
hello?
attempt at the evidence would be the density that they've derived from the Cavendish experiment.
Sorry, derived from a pseudoscience experiment. That's not
Well, he was
evidence
a
of a molten...
scientist.
Sorry, why are you telling me about a pseudoscience experiment when I'm asking for evidence of a molten iron core that can self-perpetuate? Why?
'Cause I was being honest with you.
That's not being honest. I'm asking for evidence. Not honesty, evidence.
Well, those were 2 points there at Exhibit A.
Sorry, are they evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, a
Put together all the
pseudoscience...
evidence actually
A
leads to the same
pseudoscience
conclusion.
experiment that we have debunked on multiple occasions. You think that's evidence? It's not anything to do with the core. It's a contraption on the surface of Earth. That's not evidence of a molten iron core.
And speculation is not an exhibit. You can't exhibit speculation. Exhibit would mean that you had something tangible to show, not
Right.
speculation.
So do you have that?
So one would be, yeah, one would be the magnetic field which without.
No, I'm not asking for evidence of a magnetic field. I'm asking for evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core.
I've given 2.
No, you've said there's magnetic fields. Yeah?
Right.
Now, according to you, they are caused by a molten iron core. That's the thing I'm
This is
asking
it.
for evidence for, not the magnetic fields.
You don't go to court. You're a detective. You want to play detective. You don't go to court with this kind of evidence. Your case gets thrown out because it's speculation, right? You don't go to the judge with speculation. That's how you get your case thrown out.
Well,
I don't
Steve,
even see
you guys-
why
if you guys were the
bringing
jury or
magnetic
the
field
judge,
is an argument, because
Yes, it would be a lot.
I don't think that a molten iron or any type of metal can
You
even
wouldn't even
generate
get any
magnetic
funding for
field.
it to go to court.
And
No,
you get
yes.
thrown out at your pre-hearing.
No solicitor would take it on.
Okay. Can I challenge you guys to give a better reason for the magnetic field?
Sorry, we don't need to give a reason to smash the living daylights out of your bullshit assertion. We can just smash the living daylights out of your bullshit assertion based on lack of evidence.
I just gave you.
Don't challenge us to prove anything. We're not offering any answers for it. You are. You say it's a self-perpetuating molten iron core that causes that. I'm asking for evidence, and all I'm getting is obfuscation and speculation.
I'm giving you two pieces of evidence.
No, you're not. You've said that the fields themselves, yeah, the thing I'm trying to determine what you call the cause of them, and you're saying, well, the fields themselves.
No.
Yeah, that's called an affirming the consequent. That's a formal logical fallacy. If magnetic fields, then molten iron core. Magnetic field, therefore molten iron core, because obviously we've got magnetic fields.
No.
Yeah, if P, then Q, Q, therefore P. Formal logical fallacy. If we have a molten iron core, then we will see magnetic fields. We see magnetic fields, therefore we have a molten iron core. That is a formal logical fallacy. I'm asking for actual evidence of the core.
Other than the two pieces I gave you...
You didn't give me two pieces. How many times do I have to say this with you continually asserting that you've given me evidence for a molten iron core when you have said the magnetic fields themselves are evidence? They're not. It's a logical fallacy.
Why don't you just admit it's speculation? Because that's what it is. Clearly.
It's not a logical fallacy. It's actually evidence.
Sorry. Saying that the magnetic fields are evidence of the molten iron core is a formal logical fallacy. It's called affirming the consequent. It goes like this. If P, then Q. Q, therefore P. And in your example, it would go as follows. If we have a molten iron core, there will be magnetic fields. We see magnetic fields, therefore there is a molten iron core. That is a logical fallacy, not evidence. Okay, sunshine?
You're being disingenuous if you don't let me speak and you make up your own.
Yeah, you got crap internet connection. You're just breaking up while I point out your logical fallacy, which is to say that if you assert that we have molten iron core, if we see magnetic fields, and we do see magnetic fields, therefore molten iron core, is not disingenuous.
That's not what I said. That's what you were saying.
No, that is what you said. I asked for evidence of a molten iron core, and you said magnetic fields. That's a formal logical fallacy.
Nathan, can I help you out? This won't take 30 minutes if we just let me speak, and then you speak afterwards, and then we'll go on from there, because I haven't even got to finish my point.
Yeah, you've given me your point. You've said that the magnetic fields are evidence of a molten iron core, and I've said they're not, and you continually say they are. They're not. It's a formal logical fallacy which you won't concede.
No, Nathan, it would only be if it was understood the way you're describing it. If I were a detective and I noticed that there was a murder case and a man was nowhere to be known where he was during this time, that piece of evidence alone is not proof of him doing the crime, but it certainly is included in the evidence.
Oh, right.
So this is just one piece of evidence. I'm going to give you more.
It's not
that's
evidence.
Part of the investigation, not the evidence. Until you can prove it, it's not the evidence. And this is just speculation. Yes, you start off trying to solve a case by speculating, but you don't bring that to trial. Silly.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the point yet. You guys just keep talking over. I mean, I've only gotten to say two things, so you guys shut it down for no reason, actually.
Okay, well, if you can summarize those two things, then let's just see if we've actually had any evidence presented by you summarizing your first 2 points for us. Let's see if they're actually evidence or not. Point one, please.
Yeah, point one was the magnetic field that we have. I'm sorry, was it P. Mars? Yeah, the magnetic field. That was the first one.
Right, that wasn't evidence. This will now be the fourth time I point out to you that that's a formal logical fallacy, known as affirming the consequent. If P, then Q, Q, therefore P. If we have a molten iron core, we will see magnetic fields. We see magnetic fields, therefore we have a molten iron core. That is a logical fallacy, not evidence.
But let's just add that. Let's just add that molten iron isn't magnetic, though. So it's even dumber than that.
Its magnetism.
No, you guys have to do more research into it. I'll move on to part three. That way we don't have to keep going over the same point, okay?
No. Molten iron is magnetic? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not the way that you're describing it. That's what I said at the very beginning.
I'm describing.
It's either magnetic or it's not.
Magnetic. Is molten iron magnetic?
You guys want to read this together?
I'm asking you, is molten iron magnetic? Yes or no?
Yeah. What a magnet? It's not that same type of. It's not just one magnet in the core. It's actually the outer core, and it's actually the flow of the magma. So
okay,
it's a little more complicated.
So piling speculation upon speculation and dodging the question: is molten iron magnetic?
No, on its own, no.
So the magnetic fields that you're talking about don't actually support a molten iron core, then?
Yeah, but I never said that it was.
Sorry, you said that the magnetic fields were your point of evidence for a molten iron core. Now you've just had it pointed out to you by Nummy that molten iron is not magnetic. So why would magnetic fields be evidence of that then?
Yeah, when I'm having conversations with adults, I would hope that they...
Oh, sorry, it's reduced to ad hominem now. So we've pointed out your logical fallacy. We've pointed out that your evidence isn't evidence and doesn't support what you're stating, but you're now calling us children.
No, Nathan, I never once said it was the core. I specifically told you at the beginning that.
Oh, right. I'll repeat the question because you're deaf. Is there any evidence of a molten iron core that can self-perpetuate?
And you said magnet.
Yeah.
What's that evidence?
Well, there's the lava and the...
Sorry, we've just established that lava is not magnetic.
Yeah, no, you didn't ask that. You just asked if it was...
Yeah, molten iron core. Self-perpetuating. That's what I asked.
Right.
Yeah, right. Now you're saying, well, I'm not talking about that. Yeah, well, that's the question, Dumbo.
Yeah, you brought up a magnet afterwards. When you said self-perpetuating core, that's what I was answering. And that's what the evidence is.
Okay,
the lava
no
and the
worries.
magma.
What's your evidence of the self-perpetuating molten iron core?
Well, other than those 3 pieces of evidence I've
You haven't
made,
given us 3 pieces of evidence. You've given us 0 pieces of evidence thus far.
The non-magnetic iron and the speculative idea that there's some sort of outer core, whatever that even means, that's based on pure speculation as well. Yeah, okay. Is that evidence?
well,
You're gonna take that to court?
yeah, scientists when they work for hundreds of years.
Scientist says.
Yeah.
Really?
Can I finish what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm
Sorry,
saying.
I heard the word
Let's be adults
science.
here.
Hold on. So there's scientific evidence then?
I'm sorry?
So you just mentioned science and scientists. So I would assume, therefore, you are now going to present us with scientific evidence.
No, I started saying...
Sorry, why are you mentioning scientists then? I would assume that you're mentioning them because you have scientific evidence to back up what scientists say, correct?
What I was saying was...
Do you have scientific evidence, yes or no?
Do I have it on me? Let me find it for you, Nathan. I'll do your job for you, okay?
That's my job. You're making the assertion. I've just simply asked a question. Is there any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core, is my question.
Yes.
Well,
and is that evidence scientific, as you have just mentioned scientists?
Yes.
Excellent.
Do you have this?
We will start with the hypothesis. Excellent.
Well, no, I'm gonna.
No. I'm gonna. You are going to start by telling us what their hypothesis.
20 seconds ago.
Shh. Hush now, young one. Start with the hypothesis for your scientific evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core.
All right, Nathan. Give me 2 minutes if you could. Be a kind man, if you will.
Perfect.
2 minutes on the clock.
More housekeeping in between?
I don't mind waiting. 2 minutes. That's all it'll be. We'll move on after 2 minutes.
This is just insane.
Hey, Lewis, you got to stop coming on and talking to this retard.
You know, that's what I was about to talk and jump in and say that I have heard Lewis.
So Goldemo just asked for 2 minutes so he could rejoin as Lewis, his other account, to pretend that he was Lewis. So no conversation.
Always told you I wasn't
Hold on,
Lewis.
Lewis is in the chat. So I would like Lewis to rejoin right now and have a full conversation with the other account right now.
You're asking to.
I'm not asking you to do anything, Dick Brain. I'm asking Lewis to do something. So, Lewis, I'd like you to join and have a conversation with our current guest.
Hey, Nathan, you fucking retard. You should stop talking to these guys, Kosho.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck you, Nathan. You're fucking retarded.
Is that coming through Giordano's account?
Yeah, I'm in Giordano's account because I've always been Giordano. I've always told you I wasn't Lewis, but some people will believe what's going on in their head rather than the evidence.
Oh, we got proof now. You're not Lewis.
I wouldn't call that proof.
Nigger.
Oh, they pretty much talked at the same time, didn't they?
No. Rejoin, Lewis. Let's have a full conversation. Still not satisfied.
Yeah. I don't know.
Go on, Lewis, rejoin. I want to have a full question and answer session between you and the current guest.
Talk at the same time as me, Kosho. Let's do it.
We'll be talking
at
the same time.
So here we go. Here's Kosho.
Magic trick, huh?
Yeah, here we go. Talking at the same time, talking over each other. Nathan, you're fucking stupid as shit.
I'm gonna bet you $20 right now, Lewis, that he's still gonna believe that I'm Lewis.
Yeah, he probably will.
No, I'll concede. I was wrong.
I just lost $20.
It happens. You sound very alike.
You see how easy that was, for Nathan to concede and holding his hands up straight away. As soon as he realises that he was in the wrong, he admits it. What about Sly Sparkane? Where's his retractions? Looking for retractions from Sly Sparkane.
Hey, Stiggy, how you doing?
I think you're 2 minutes.
Hey, good afternoon again.
Good to have you.
They may not be they may not be the same person, but they sure think alike. They both can't provide evidence.
They may as well be the same person. Who cares? But anyways, I don't know. I think you're 2 minutes.
They have the same lingo, also.
More evidence yet?
I have articles and stuff. I want to find a scientific paper though.
You had a good couple
that
of
way
minutes.
I can give you the best quality for you and also for your audience.
Sorry, I haven't asked for a scientific paper though. What I've asked for is a hypothesis. So that's specifically what I want.
There should be lots of evidence.
Sorry, just to check, Goldemo, did you hear what I asked for?
You asked for the evidence, or the paper.
Yeah, scientific evidence. Scientific evidence.
Evidence, not a paper, because you're going to present.
Evidence.
Scientist speculates that there's a molten core. See, okay, but I'm pretty much positive that they're not going to actually present it in the scientific terms of the scientific method.
You really think a scientific paper is not going to present their...
Sorry, I'll say it one more time. You're deaf.
Yeah.
One more time. I'm just going to say it one more time. I would first like the hypothesis. That's specifically what I asked for.
Well, depending on the paper, it'll be a different hypothesis, of course.
Yeah, I don't care which hypothesis, just as long as you give me the hypothesis for whatever science you think supports a molten iron core.
Sure. One moment, please. You guys might want to move on to something else, and I'll let you know when I got it.
You had 2 minutes already. Surely you have this to hand, right?
No, I don't. I'm on finding these articles. So I'm trying to find a nice paper. So just one moment.
So hold on.
Years of evidence.
But a second ago you said you had science. Why would it be that you need to dig it out if you've already asserted you have this?
No, I asserted it exists, and I said I didn't have it because you asked me on the spot to show it to you.
Well,
so
how do you know it? How do you know it exists?
And it shouldn't take me too long.
How do you know it exists?
Because I've seen, like I said, plenty of science, plenty of sciences, different sciences, geology.
Believe it.
Seen them assert
I think
this
he
before.
assumed it.
So you've seen them assert it, so they must have proof, right? They wouldn't.
Think I can't do that, all right?
No self-respecting scientist would make an assertion without proof.
Yeah, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for it, and if I can't find it, I'll concede to you. But if you give me the chance, this will move a lot smoother.
Yeah, sure. If you can give me the hypothesis, I'll be happy to let you read out the hypothesis.
10 minutes, Nathan? Do you reckon? 10 minutes? There's plenty of time in it.
Could you just tell us the nature of this evidence, like something about it? Could you just summarize it? I mean, if you know it, then you should be able to tell us something about it without actually citing the paper, right? Like, what kind of paper are you trying to find right now?
I named 3 things. I'm going to ask you one more time. If you just please give me a moment, and this will go a lot faster because I can actually do this reading and find it quickly. But I'll answer your question in just one moment.
But you only needed 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I ended up talking to you guys, and over talking with Lewis to prove to you that I'm not Lewis.
Yeah,
and
fair
the
enough.
whole thing. So
Fair enough. Take a couple of minutes, but my bad. You're right.
Give him some more rope.
While he's looking, don't you think it's a little odd that the inner workings of their planet, of their ball, their core, their main go-to that causes a magnetism, and you can't find one article about it? And it should just be super easy. If they're really passionate, they should know exactly what it is. But you can find loads of articles about all the other forces and all the other workings of what we have. But when it comes to core and when it comes to gravity, oh, it's hard. And it's just, you wonder why.
Because it's all bollocks, mate.
Oh, of course. And they have nothing. I mean, they're talking about Cavendish when he didn't even want to prove gravity, didn't even have anything to do with G in the equation. He was trying to weigh the Earth, not even figure out if there was a magnetic core with iron and nickel.
He's trying to weigh the Earth. That doesn't even make sense anyway.
I know. Of course it doesn't.
Yeah, but that's absolutely what he was doing. That's precisely what the Cavendish experiment was designed to do by Cavendish.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a circular argument.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. You know, don't get me wrong, I understand all the flaws.
Well, and I've been asking him, what would happen if you raise the Cavendish experiment up a ways and you put two different masses of balls underneath? Would it dip towards one ball than the other?
Well, you should watch Sly. He did a repeat of the Cavendish experiment in a very windy room, and the ball.
Yeah, and the ground is constantly vibrating. The ground is constantly going through tremors. There's no way they can get a controlled experiment with no other phenomena at play.
Yeah, well, that's the whole problem with the downward acceleration. You can't interrupt it, so you can't experiment with it. It's a constant, right?
Yeah, I've seen all the experiments they've tried doing at schools and even people in their backyards. It is a difficult experiment, and these people are saying you can do it in the blink of an eye. It takes some
non-experiment because you can't actually isolate the variables. That's the problem.
Well, in their words and minds, it is an experiment, and yes, it's coming down now to defining what science is, and that's what Flat Earth does, and it's bigger than the actual shape of Earth. It's more than that. We're all on a self-discovery, and the people that were taught this are relearning new ways, and it's one because of the internet. And I think that's the biggest thing is, yeah, we have the opportunity to do our own discoveries, and they're freaking out about it when they shouldn't be.
Well, we're at the start of this. We're literally in the beginning, and we're finding out so much in the past year. Flat Earth has come so far. See where we'll be in a couple of years' time. They're running now. They're running now.
We're solid, well over the halfway mark, and you've had a good solid couple of minutes now. Goldemo, how are you getting on?
I found something here now. I'm sure it's gonna be to your standards. Although I'm sure almost nothing will be, but I'm still gonna read through this and just make sure it's written here.
Yeah, take a few more minutes. What we're specifically looking for is the hypothesis.
Okay. Well, what I have here is just it's a paper describing the magnetic field itself. I'm trying to make sure that it or the way that you describe it. If this will
don't need to tell us anything about it except the hypothesis, specifically the hypothesis. Maybe scribble that word down and look for that specifically.
Sure.
Bruno, do you actually think that if you actually can't find what we're looking for, you're going to maybe question the reality that you've been told? Or are you going to be a religious zealot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that if this is just completely made up and someone wrote it down in a magazine just so I could read it one time, but it turns out that there's no core at all, yeah, I would have to agree that I'm just a religious zealot. But I'm pretty sure, especially since I'm reading a 64-page paper now on this, that there's plenty of evidence for it. I'm just making sure it's suitable for you guys.
Stephen King has written.
It's a scientific paper. What we need from it.
Quantity is not quality. And, I'm going to tell you that what you're going to find in these papers is that, yes, people with the white coat, speculate about the causes of phenomena, and these days that is what is allowed to be called science, but strictly speaking, that's not science, right? Because the person who's trained in the methods of science and is therefore invested with authority to speculate about such things, speculates, does not actually provide any proof or evidence of what they're speculating about. So they might write 64 whole big pages about it, and it doesn't prove shit, right? Just because they, are, are invested with the authority to convey the scientific method to the people does not make their speculations any more valuable than anyone else's.
Well, it does. It does make it more valuable, but it doesn't make it a fact. It doesn't make it true. But I will tell you that.
Why is it more valuable? Because someone who knows the science is supposed to know the scientific method, doesn't follow it, then that's somehow more valuable than someone who doesn't know the scientific method, hasn't been trained in the scientific method, not follow.
No. That's not what I see. Evidence, and you read through the evidence and it appears sound, as much as just her head.
All right, no offense, Nummy. He's trying to find us a hypothesis in 60 pages. I don't want to get to the end of the show and go,
the hypothesis comes at the start, Nathan.
Yeah, I realise, but if he's got 60 pages to dig through, I'd like him to dig through it.
He doesn't have to look through 60. He needs to look through about 6, maybe, at the most, to find the hypothesis.
Yeah, no, this was no good anyway. I'm at another one now, so.
I'm sure Lewis is probably looking for one too at the moment.
Sorry, why is it no good?
Be nice one.
What's wrong with it? You said it was specifically
about
that.
It didn't have to do with the rotating core. It was specifically about the field, so didn't go into that too much.
I'm just coming from the perspective where I spent like 2 or 3 months looking for this evidence and didn't find it.
Sorry, Nummy, I'm really sorry to interrupt. Sorry, bear with me, Nummy. You specifically said earlier that the fields, their cause is the core. That's what you said earlier.
That's right.
But you've now got a science
paper.
Back
to that
hold on.
It's not going to be speaking on.
You asserted one of your proofs was the magnetic fields themselves. Now you have a scientific paper about magnetic fields, and you've said that's no good. That's not scientific evidence of the molten iron core. Yeah. Yet you specifically asserted that it was.
Yeah, it brings up the core. It's not focused on the core, so it's not going to be what you asked for, but I can go back to that one if that pleases you.
Sorry, it doesn't please me. You said you had science. We're looking for a hypothesis. Originally, we've asked about evidence of a molten iron core. You asserted that the fields were strong evidence of the core. Now you've got scientific documentation about those fields, and you're saying it's not satisfactory as scientific evidence of the core. That makes no sense. If they're studying the fields and you claim they're proof, why wouldn't it be useful evidence?
Because it's not describing the fields themselves. It wasn't explaining how they're formed. It was describing what they do. So,
but why would you even connect it? Why would you go from okay, there's magnetic fields. This must mean there's a hot molten core in the middle of our Earth. The only way you could get to that is if you knew about this paper. But you as an individual, not knowing this paper, how would you even come to that conclusion?
Skim through it. And so I'm moving on.
This is painful.
I have something here about the Earth's formation development.
Sorry, earlier you said...
If you can concede that it's a belief, I think we can move on.
Well, we can go one at a time. Well, you have specifically asserted that these fields are evidence of the core being molten and self-perpetuating. Are you now conceding that that is not evidence?
Oh, it certainly is part of the evidence.
Sorry, you've got a paper in front of you. It's a scientific paper. Give me the hypothesis from it right now.
The one that I'm looking at about the origin and development of the cores of
any hypothesis that supports the assertion we have a molten iron core that can self-perpetuate. Any hypothesis. You have a paper. Give me the hypothesis from it. Yeah. If you think it supports it, give me the hypothesis.
On what you're asking. So
just give me the hypothesis. Give it me now.
I don't have that because I don't have that in front of me.
You did say you'd have it in
Can't give
2
you something
minutes.
that-
You said you'd have
And
it
then
in 2 minutes.
you guys are talking to me. I would
This was 15 minutes
go on
ago.
to something else. Yeah,
Are you
well,
going to blame us for asking too many times for you to provide actual evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core? Because so far we've given you 2 minutes, then we've given you another 2 minutes, then you've said you've got a paper that's 60 pages long, but it doesn't actually support your assertion that the magnetic fields, the thing the paper's on, supports that there is a molten iron core.
oh, it does support it.
Excellent. Give me the hypothesis, please.
If you can't support these
It's a scientific
by
test.
making
Now,
an
doesn't have a
Hold on, Nummy, he's just said it again. We're going to do this little circle jerk dance, no doubt, but I don't mind. Give me the hypothesis, please.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read to you the abstract, but like I said, it's not going to have a hypothesis because it's not a test of any sort.
Oh, so it's not scientific. I'd rather not hear anything except for a hypothesis. If it doesn't have a hypothesis, then it's not science, sunshine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want the hypothesis from it. If you're saying it doesn't have one, it's not science.
No, it's not a measurement. It's not.
Oh, it's not a scientific evidence. Oh, right. So will you now concede that the magnetic fields, the thing your scientific quote-unquote paper is about, does not support that we have a molten iron core? Will you actually concede this, religious zealot?
A liar, so I can't do that. But
Sorry, will you concede, like you have already basically conceded anyway, that A, you don't have a hypothesis in this quote-unquote scientific paper, and that therefore your assertion that the magnetic fields support the notion we have a self-perpetuating molten iron core is false? I don't need a sigh, I need a retraction. You take your time, Goldnamo. I know this is difficult for you Globers to concede anything. Only moments earlier I conceded you weren't Lewis Hackett in a heartbeat. Is it part of your rep that you will never ever concede anything ever, and you will literally sit in silence rather than concede?
When you're
strange how he's got a funny internet
well,
connection.
no, I'm not.
You're just breaking up now. Isn't that interesting? Gets to the point where we're waiting for a concession and he suddenly has a funny internet connection.
Like it's true.
I'd like you to concede that speculation is not scientific evidence. This is what we're talking about.
Speculation is not yeah, speculation on its own is not scientific evidence, no.
Oh, the connection's back now.
Well, that's what you've got to support this idea. Speculation. So it's not science.
No. There's going to be plenty of evidence out there. If you guys are asking specifically about the perpetuation of the core spinning and a test that proves that, that's going to have a hypothesis. Just give me a minute. If you guys are looking for just anything at all and you don't care what it is and you just want me to say something.
No, we want you, globehead idiot, to support your assertion that we have a spinning core that self-perpetuates, that is molten.
Well, go ahead and give me a chance for that then.
Oh, right. You've only had about a quarter of an hour, maybe 20 minutes. You go away and see if you can find it again. Still no concession that the magnetic fields asserted by this asshole that he has gone and got a paper on specifically on that doesn't back up his assertion that we have a molten iron core. No concession about that.
Here, I have one here, I think.
Sorry,
Nathan, I think you found the proof that there are people out there who either have to defend this, like they're in some sort of weird thing that they have to come on here and defend it, or they are indoctrinated so much, just like someone would be in a religion, that they can't accept or even think about it or there's the common truth seekers who are open to any idea of change and who are genuine. And you can feel that this guy, and you've had some other guests on that were genuine. I'd consider that actually. You can hear the conceit. A normal person has a little bit of conceit. But yeah, you can hear it in his voice. He's really holding on to this because it should be super easy to just, here you go.
Yeah, well, I got it now here for you.
Excellent.
You guys still are looking
more
for
science. Excellent. What's the hypothesis?
It looks like I can't. It's a little German, so I'm not going to be able to pronounce that German name. But it says high pressure Mossbauer spectroscopy on several compositions across the looks like iron and magnesium, and then some other German word. Solid solution confirms that ferrous iron, and when we say ferrous iron, we're talking about obviously the magnet.
Confirms that. Confirms comes after an experiment, but we're not at that stage. I don't want to know what's been confirmed by the scientific experimentation. I want to know the hypothesis.
Yeah, I'm going over the basically what their hypothesis is in the paper. So
excellent. What was their independent variable?
Let's see. Sample materials. Yeah, so it looks like they used the composition of these elements. I can copy them to you. It's a bunch of chemical compounds, and they were prepared by reaction of looks like iron enriched iron oxalate, something like that, in a reduced atmosphere to avoid the presence of iron 3 plus. I guess it's the isotope of iron, probably 29 or something like that. So content was in all cases below the detection limit of the spectroscopy, hence 1% of the total iron. So it looks like they prepared this so that it wasn't. So they knew exactly what level of the iron was this specific isotope.
Sorry, did you hear my question?
Okay.
Hold on, did you hear my question?
Yeah, you're asking about the variables.
Specifically the independent variable. What was the independent variable?
Well, I've just found this paper, and
don't tell me about what you've just found. Yeah, don't tell me about any of the experimentation. Tell me what the hypothesis was, specifically the independent and dependent variables in their experiment.
All right, let me read this then, and I'll get back to you. I've just started reading this in real time.
Just before we do, right? Just so you know what you're looking for. What is an independent variable?
Yeah, the independent variable is going to be the one that causes whatever you're expecting to, whatever phenomena you're expecting to witness, and you'll witness this in the dependent variable, which is going to change.
No, wrong. The phenomena is the dependent variable. I'm asking you what the independent variable needs. It's got 3 things. So tell me what 3 things you would need to have to qualify something as an independent variable.
Yeah, well, just something that you can change. You can adjust it if you need to.
Yeah, okay, I'll accept that as number 1. It needs to be able to be varied and manipulated by the researcher. That's number 1. What else?
Yeah, and then it's going to have to, you're going to be able to have it fixed and unchanging in this experiment.
Sorry, no. It doesn't need to be fixed and unchanging. It's a variable. You are going to vary and manipulate it as a researcher.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, that's not what you meant because you said the total opposite of that. Yes, I get that that's not what you meant because you were wrong. You then stated something entirely in opposition of what you originally asserted.
You're misunderstanding what I'm saying, Nathan.
I'm not misunderstanding what something is fixed and then when something is varying. I understand there is a distinct difference between the two. You can't have it being both. That is what you have asserted. That is nonsense.
All right, Nathan, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read this so I can find for you those variables. If you want to explain to your audience.
No, I want you to first tell me specifically. We'll narrow it down. just one more thing. Specifically, what is an independent variable in a scientific experiment?
I literally just explained it to you.
No, you've said that it is something that is fixed and something that varies. I confirm it is something that you need to vary and manipulate as a researcher, and I say no, it is not something that is fixed.
About what's in this paper? Because I
No,
can't read it.
not yet. You don't know what you're looking for. That's why I'm establishing with you what an independent variable is.
In about 2 minutes, is you're going to berate me for not having this information that
you don't know what the information is because you haven't yet told me what it is. I'm asking you what information you're looking for. What are you looking for? What are you looking for in the 60 pages or however many you've got? What is an independent variable? So you know what you're looking for. I want you to tell me what it is.
I do know what I'm looking for.
I know what an independent variable is, and I want you to tell me what an independent variable is. So I know that you're not wasting your time looking for something that you don't understand yet.
Nathan,
it's the variable in the experiment, Nathan. The experiment in the variable in the experiment that you have the ability to change at will. That won't change that will affect the variable that you're going to be observing to find this phenomena, you know, and it's going to affect the dependent variable.
There's another word that you're missing. You've already had that.
We're going to say from this as we get through this.
No, you haven't defined what an independent variable is. It has a very specific thing about it, which you have not yet mentioned. Very specific.
Okay, I gotta run, guys. Good talking to you.
Thanks, Nummy. Are we ever going to get to the point where you tell us the specific thing that an independent variable must be in order to be called an independent variable? Are you not going to tell us?
Like I said, it doesn't change. It doesn't depend on the second variable, but the second variable will depend on that one. Other than that, I don't know what you're looking for.
You don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking specifically for what would class an independent variable as an independent variable.
I gave you that.
No, you just told me that you need to vary it. So far, you need to vary it. That's what you've told me so far. Oh, funny internet again. What a shock. Anything else?
No, I said it doesn't depend on the second variable.
What does an independent variable need in order for it to qualify as an independent variable? Not what it doesn't, what it does.
Nathan, it's a game show that you're trying to do, but if there's a specific word you're looking for, I suggest you just say it. I'm trying to do another thing here. I'm reading through this paper for you.
Well, yeah, to find what an independent variable is, yeah? You're trying to find me the independent variable, and I want you to tell me what that is. So far, you've not told me what it is. You told me that you can vary it. Well, the clue, in terms of it being variable, is kind of in the name. It's called an independent variable, so that's a good guess. There's something else specific about an independent variable that I want you to tell me, so I know you know what you're looking for.
I got news for you. I don't know what word you're looking for, but I do know what I'm looking for in this paper. So if you won't mind just telling me the word that you're looking for, it might help me find what you'd like me to find for you.
Okay, it's been long enough. I'll put you out of your misery. It's the cause.
Okay, so you didn't understand when I said that it affects the phenomena that's going to affect the second.
Sorry, not affect. That's the dependent variable, you stupid idiot. It's not the effect. It's the cause.
Okay. Sorry, here.
No. Let's have you repeat it. Repeat after me. The independent variable is not the effect, it is the cause. Repeat after me.
Just like I said before,
Repeat after me. The independent variable is not the effect, it is the cause. Repeat those words.
I just said that, Nathan. I've said that at the beginning, too.
Repeat them, word for word, verbatim. The independent variable is not the effect, it is the cause. The word I couldn't quite find.
I'm sorry, there was someone at the door.
Oh, really? Well, tell him to sod off because you're being humiliated. because you've just told me that an independent variable is an effect, when it absolutely, unequivocally, is not. It is
Surprised
the
you
cause.
didn't understand that, Nathan. That when
You
I
don't
said
understand. If you understood it, I wouldn't have had to tell you, and you wouldn't have just told me that it's the effect.
Yeah, Nathan, I'm surprised that when I told you that this causes this to happen, and you're looking for something that...
Sorry, you definitely didn't say it causes this to happen. Had you have said the word cause, yeah, I wouldn't have asked you that question now, would I? You definitely didn't say cause. I said
something that's unchanging that's going to make the other thing change.
Oh, unchanging that's going to make the other thing change. So it's both unchanging and making the other thing change. Again, that makes no sense.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep...
Not yeah. No, it doesn't make sense. You have a very big problem with comprehension.
Yeah, I have a problem reading and arguing with a grown man who doesn't understand regular...
Yeah, I understand what a cause is. That's why I'm getting you to repeat after me. Yeah? An independent variable is the cause and not the effect.
Right.
You're right. So we're not going to end the show until you repeat those words back to me, dumbass.
Okay, good. Well, then your audience will get what they paid for.
Yeah, you being made to look like a complete idiot as you tell me that an independent variable is the effect.
I never said that, Nathan.
Yeah, you did. I was looking for the word specifically, cause, and you never said it. You kept on telling me about it affecting the other thing, right? That's the effect. It specifically is your cause. You haven't quite twigged what the relevance or importance of that is, though, have you?
Nathan, see, what you heard was in your head after you interrupted me. You didn't hear what I actually said.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't hear the word cause until I said it. Then you told me, I told you it was the cause. You didn't, dumbass, yeah? You claimed that you said the word caused. You didn't.
Well, see, if I knew I was dealing with a simple...
See, if I was stuttering, yeah, you'd be being humiliated by me telling you over and over again that the independent variable is not the effect, it's the cause. You still won't repeat it back.
You're not humiliating me when you say it, because I've never said that.
Yeah, you did not say the word cause. I had to drag it out of you repeatedly and then tell you. That's what actually happened.
No, it's not, Nathan.
Yeah, it is. Do you want to rewind it and listen it back? Yeah? Literally. Do you want me to cut it out? I don't mind, my friend, if you want me to cut it out. Ruhith also did this. Claimed something didn't happen that did happen. So do you need me to go? Do you need me to go and edit this out to actually call you a liar?
No, Nathan. If you're asking me for favors, or if you want me to do a favor, I'd like you to do. It's just let.
I'm not asking you for anything other than to repeat after me. An independent variable is not an effect. It is a cause. That's what I want you to say.
Yeah, sure. Okay, absolutely. Just like I said before, and never said otherwise. The independent variable is the cause, and what you're looking for with the dependent variable is the effect of that independent variable. But I've said this the whole time.
No, you didn't. So we're looking for the cause. So in this experiment, the cause of the effect is soil. Is that correct?
No, Nathan, this is the part where I haven't read it yet. Because
oh, well, I asked specifically for your independent variable. Then you gave me a lot of waffle about soil. So did you not understand my question? Excuse me, did you not understand? Did you not stop talking? Did you not understand my question?
You remember when I made the prediction that you're going to be berating me about this because you wanted to talk about that and didn't let me read this?
Sorry, I asked you for your independent variable. Then you gave us rather a long sentence about soil. Yes, that's what I asked for, and that is specifically what you gave me.
I have it right here. Okay.
Where?
So let me go ahead and give you those variables, okay? All right? Let me read through this.
No worries. Start with the independent variable. Independent variable, please.
What?
Oh, he's got a funny internet again at the crucial moment where we're going to get the independent variable out of him. What a shock. Let's have the independent variable, please.
This is the part where this is the part where I have to read this now, and then pick those out for you. So just get to do that because I wasted about 10 minutes.
Why are you wasting more time?
You sit right now. Are you going to berate me after I just predicted that you were going to do this?
Sorry, we're not asking for any predictions in regards to what happens on this hangout. Yeah? We're asking for the independent variable, the presumed cause in a cause and effect relationship, in relation to a molten iron core.
Hey. All right, so I'm going to read this. I'm really not going to listen for a second, just so I can read these complicated words, okay? Some of them are pretty big. Some of them are German.
Giordano, next time you come into a discussion, though, don't back up your entire beliefs on something you've never even read.
Exactly.
Yeah, I haven't read this paper, but I explained to you what the evidence was. You guys just didn't like it.
No. Well, no, you said the word science, and I said, oh, great, scientific evidence. Now we're looking at scientific papers, and we're specifically asking for something that the scientific method has, an independent variable. Yeah. Well, give it us.
That's what we're doing now.
Give it us.
So let's move forward.
Yeah, independent variable, please.
Well, this is the part where I have to read.
Why is it every time I ask for an independent variable, you tell me you've got to go away and read? So I say, have you got one? You go, yes. I go, give it me then. You go, well, I've got to go away and read. What gives? It doesn't make any sense. What's going on? Why is it that I ask specifically for your independent variable and then you tell me that you've got to go away and read? What's going on? Just silence. This is what it's been reduced to. I tell you what, I've had enough. If the guy hasn't got any independent variable, he doesn't have anything. This is utter nonsense. Anyway, I think that's enough. I've had an hour and 15 minutes of this complete and utter nonsense. Housekeeping about molten iron cores. We can't even get past that because this guy non-stop makes assertions. So I think with that, I'll probably say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, you know exactly what to do, but if you liked the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!